What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode, Saturday episode, man. We got the play-in game today. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to Gym with J Money, man. Y'all hit the like button if you can. Go to SBR Picks /NBA. Check out the articles we got over there. We got plenty of free picks over there for all type of sports, man. I'm J Money. That's my guy, Teddy Covers. That's my guy, Junior Browne, man. What's up, guys? Y'all ready to get to some cheddar? What's up, Junior? Everything good with you?
Lovely, lovely. Finally, playoff time. Can't wait to get these games underway. Can't wait to hear y'all's opinions. I'm sure that it's going to be interesting. So let's ready to roll. What about you, Teddy?
I'm sorry to see the playoffs come. I'll tell you what, this bubble's been real good to me and my bankroll over the course of the last couple of weeks. And it's a different style of handicapping now. Over the last 3 weeks, we've been able to look for information. This coach cares, this coach doesn't. These guys are going to sit, these guys aren't. And the information has been the key to winning these games. And that's why this show has been just so tremendous for people over the last couple of weeks. We've been able to give them really good info. Now it changes. When the postseason comes, it's no longer about information and who gets the information first. We all pretty much have the same information. It's about how you process that information. So it's a different level of handicap, a different style of handicap. So I'm disappointed to see the end of the regular season. That 8 games was a nice little run, but it's a whole new game in town starting today because every game now has a little bit more meaning.
Exactly. I'm kind of on the fence because I feel what Junior said, but I feel what Teddy said too. Because I mean, we ran it up. We ran it up there for a little bit there in these, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really pretty much just finding a team that's more motivated. So I'm not gonna say it was necessarily easy because some of the times it kind of went back and beat you in the bubble because the team's bench didn't actually really, or the motivation wasn't really all the way there, even though the team was better. So sometimes, I mean, it took a couple of losses and it was like, damn, I wish this was like regular season because people just playing like they don't care. But other ones, I actually capitalized off that. So we ran up a little bit. But once again, Junior, I am ready to get these games to where I know everybody's motivated. Everybody's playing. It's pretty much matchup versus matchup. And we know what we're going to get as far as the lineups, you know what I'm saying, the rotations and people caring wise. So that's another thing where I'm like, I'm ready for the seriousness to be here and all this Olay defense 140 and shit. Like, what, man? What today? I know today's NBA going into 120 stuff. Come on, buck 30s though. Come on, that's a little too far. I want to see some defense, just a little bit. Yeah, but that's just me, man. But we're gonna recap some. We're gonna recap yesterday's game. It was just 4 games yesterday on the slate, man. So I know that Rockets game didn't really treat me well, man. But it's all good. Didn't expect him to play in them, but he did play. But the first game of the day, man, the Nuggets versus the Raptors, man. The Raptors, no matter who they play out there on the floor, the boys ball out there, man. The Nuggets end up going down there, even though they played their starters the first half. I did like the Nuggets first half. No, it didn't matter, but the boys just then there was another one where the starters out there, it just didn't really come out motivated. The Nuggets end up taking a loss 109-117 there. The Heat ended up taking a loss to the Pacers. Pacers came out ready to go, and that one from the get-go outscored them 28-13 in the first quarter, and the game was pretty much over from there. Pacers had to show just for their mental side, they had to at least show that they could beat the Heat no matter who was out there. At least they couldn't go season sweep against them and then go have a playoff series. You had to just do that for your mind. They ended up getting that one done 109-92. The Clippers go to overtime versus OKC, man. Right before the game, everybody looking at the start line was like, where Kawhi, where PG is? Shit, the Clippers wasn't playing them, man. They ended up sitting over on the bench. OKC was playing some of their guys. Schroeder and Adams played in the first half, so they ended up getting the cover in that one, 103-107, and the Sixers smack up the Rockets there, 134-96. Didn't expect Embiid to play. He went out his last 2 games with an ankle injury and hand injury, Teddy. Why the hell they trying to play him in their game? I mean, maybe it's just that big of a deal for the 76ers to get their regular season win, get that blowout win, feel good. I guess they really need that to push and beat balls to the wall. What you think about that, Teddy?
Well, I mean, the Rockets had no business chalking that game, and then it showed, right from the get-go. The quotes from D'Antoni prior to the game were like, "Yeah, we don't care." I mean, it was flat out, "We don't care. We're going to try to get some guys some rhythm." And Philly, at least in the last couple of, I want to call them preseason games, restart games. The effort was there for the Sixers. OKC, the Clips, that game went to OT and still didn't sniff an over. There was not a lot of offensive flow in that game. I agree with your assessment about Indiana, and they, like the Pacers, wanted it and needed it more than the Heat did, and that showed from the get-go. And when it comes to Which team's playing championship level defense going into the playoffs? The Raptors, pretty high on that list for me. They showed some of that yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. What you got on that one, Junior? What you think about that the Raptors game yesterday?
You know what I'm going to say. Their bench is just better than most other teams' bench, and their coach does not accept anything other than your best effort. If you don't give your best effort, you're definitely not going to play in the next game. So with that being said, I just thought that the mindset for the Toronto bench players was like, if I can make an impression during these seeding games, I'm going to get some playoff minutes. So if like you guys have both been saying, if you know that a team has motivation, that makes them a bet on team.
Got you, man. Let's get to today's game. We got the Grizzlies versus the Blazers here, man. Only one game today. We know it's a play-in tournament. The Blazers only have to win one to go and face the Lakers. The Grizzlies have to win today and tomorrow to beat them twice. We know it's going to be a pretty tough task there for the Grizzlies. No, Jaren Jackson Jr. Is out with a little meniscus tear. He won't be in this game. Total opened up at 233, ticked down to 232 and a half, then 232 now sitting at 231 and a half at some shops. What you think about this game, Junior? Grizzlies +6, or you like the Blazers -6 in this game?
I'm going to have to take the +6 with the young Grizzlies. I think that even though they've been struggling a little bit, the effort's been there. And I just think that I'm actually more so I just can't lay that many points with Portland, if I'm just going to be honest. I just think that what I watched in that Nets game, it really did not impress me. I just feel like their defense just leaks points. Obviously, they've had the best offense, the number one rated offense in the bubble. You got a guy averaging 37 a game. I would hope so. But seriously, I just don't trust their defense. I think that in the worst case scenario, in my opinion, is that the Grizzlies get a backdoor cover where maybe they're losing by 10, but they make a little late run because they're just not going to give up. They're going to play hard for 48 minutes, no matter what the scenario is, right? It's win or go home, literally NCAA tournament style for them. They got to win twice. Portland just got to win once. I think that Portland probably wins the next game if they don't win this game. But I'm not saying that I even think Memphis is going to win outright, but I just think that they can hang around with the +6. The way that Portland's been playing defense in the bubble, they're the third worst defense in the bubble. And I just think that Memphis has what it takes to at least keep it within 6 points in a do or die situation.
Yeah, and all the Blazers games have been close as well, man. Every single one has been close, and they're gonna give you a chance to stay there because defense is Swiss cheese, man. What you think about this one, Teddy?
Well, yeah, the last 4 games, the Blazers gave up $133, $131, $121, and $122. And they covered half the spreads during that span. That being said, they covered twice as 2.5-point favorites, winning by 3. Winning by 1 against Brooklyn, by 3 against Dallas, by 3 against Philly, losing by 5 against the Clippers. Yeah, these are tight one-possession games. And when you talk about turnarounds, again, the game against Brooklyn, great game. Everyone had a lot of fun watching it on Thursday night. That was Thursday late game. Now this is Saturday early game for Portland. McCollum and Lillard both played 44 minutes in the game against Brooklyn. That was a balls to the wall, down to the wire affair. The game before, they both played 40 minutes. The game before, they both played 40 minutes. Now it's 5 games and 8 nights for Portland, and they're all tight barn burners. Hard for me to lay a price with a team, given those defensive weaknesses and given their brutal schedule of late. The question is, when it comes to postseason basketball, can we trust a team like the Grizzlies in their debut? The lights are brighter today. But I think the bubble might help them in a sense because there's no hostile opposing crowd. Mm-hmm. It's still going to feel to them, yes, the pressure is different. Yes, the mentality is different. But when you walk on the floor, it's the same floor you've been walking on for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I would hope, because I have the Grizzlies in my pocket, I would hope that Memphis isn't going to be affected by the pressure of the game whatsoever. And if they're not, I don't think there's any reason that that Portland's going to smack them around. I would expect a competitive game. If you remember, these two teams played, was it the opener in the bubble? An overtime affair. That was with Jackson in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, let's the point spread was also 2.5 or 3 points cheaper in that contest about the Blazers. So it is warranted in the number. Memphis or pass for this better.
Exactly. Now I like when Teddy ended with I got the Grizzlies +6 in my pocket, or just say I got +6 in pocket. Got him in pocket, but I already know that he does, man. But yeah, you mentioned something there, Teddy, that this time, and I was on Portland before, and this was the young guns versus the veterans in that game, and I did take the more veteran team on this one. This was early in the bubble, though, and I got a scare. That game went to overtime, even though the Blazers were up late. What did the Grizzlies do? And I hate to really go back because they did have Jaren Jackson Jr. He did have 33 points. But, I mean, between Brandon Clark and Grayson Allen has stepped up off the bench ever since then. He's played a lot different, especially since Tyus Jones went out as well. You're going to have Tolliver and Gort and Dieng coming off the bench. They're just going to have to try to split the points. I mean, really, when you really look at it, I mean, they can kind of fill in for Jaren Jackson Jr. They're going to miss him. But when you look at, like, McCollum, he's not going to be all the way the same. Yeah, he's going to still give you 20 points, make some shots, but I'm looking at his body language out there. He is not the same. Even if you got a bad back, it's going to affect you, man. Trust me, my back is. I can still ball out there on him, but it ain't the same, man. As if you know what I'm saying, 100%, one little nudge in the back, and everything won't be the same. Lillard, he been going balls to the wall. He been having to score 40, 50, 60, and they still barely winning. You got down 10 points to the Nets. The Nets didn't have nothing to play for in that game. They just coming out balling. They got up 10 points in the fourth quarter, man. I'm watching the game like a hawk. I didn't know if the Blazers had the defense come back. The Nets really were just too rattled, and I mean the Blazers tried to play some defense there in crunch time, but like I say, getting back to this one, Blazers won by 5 in overtime, man. But the Grizzlies gave them a scare, and boys will never stop playing. You call me crazy, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Grizzlies win this game and then the Blazers blow them out tomorrow. I would love to see it. The NBA would love Adam Silver. They would love to see that, but it didn't even get that far. The Grizzlies never stop going. It's an absolute must-win game for them. They did beat the Blazers already earlier this season. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. already had like 6 points. They didn't have Nurkic and Collins, but if you look at Collins, he's pretty much been there for defense and rebounding. Guy has not been scoring any points. Nurkic has been balling, but the Blazers defense is just, I'm sorry, it's just horrible, man. Teddy missed it, 5th game in 8 days for them. The Grizzlies have a one-day rest advantage on them. I like the Grizzlies, man. The team that's a must-win spot, the Blazers might let their guard down here, Junior. It's not really a must-win for the Blazers. They still got tomorrow. They might come out, we'll come out. Maybe they got paid a little money there, Junior. It's a win tomorrow. Still getting in the playoffs. It's just one extra game. We just won a game on Sunday. Blazers in 2, Junior. Call me crazy. The +6 and +6.5 is in my pocket.
I like it. I love that you guys are aligned. That all 3 of us are aligned. I think that one thing that's going to be really important for the Grizzlies is I think John Morant's got to shoot at least like 10 free throws. He's got to be super aggressive. Because offensively, he's kind of struggling right now. He's not been hitting his threes, but his assists are, you average 10 assists a game as a rookie, 9 assists a game, whatever he's averaging. And obviously you're a special passer. He doesn't even really turn the ball over that much. I just think if he could get to the line and be aggressive, and put pressure on the Portland, whoever's defending him, because I want to get your guys' take on this. John Morant's game right now, again, he's a very young guy, right? Like he's in his first season in the NBA. We've seen what Karis LeVert was able to do against this Portland defense. Karis LeVert was getting off on these guys. I think John Morant, if he can get it going a little bit, he can do something very similar because they have similar games, except John Morant is just a lot more athletic than Karis LeVert.
Yeah, we're going to need Dillon Brooks today. That's for damn sure. We're going to need Dillon Brooks to go for 25-30. He kind of woke up last game, 31 points. John Morant, that's why he got a triple-double, because he was dishing it to Dillon Brooks. He was hitting them shots. We need Dillon Brooks and Jonas Valanciunas to come with it. We know John Morant's coming with the energy every single night. We need Dillon Brooks to go for at least 25 tonight, and I think we'll be in good shape. If he has a bad game, it might not look too good for I can see Blazers win by 10, but I think they got to come to play. They're not ready to go home yet. They're not ready to go home. What you think, Teddy? You think Dillon Brooks got to come? He kind of woke up the last game. He can be a star type player, possibly. He's just a streaky guy, but hopefully he's on tonight, Teddy.
Sure. I mean, if you ask me what Portland needs to do to win this game, it comes down to low post defense. It comes down to what Collins and Whiteside are going to be able to do, and Nurkic are going to be able to do in the low post against the Memphis penetrators. And I know that Whiteside, coming off the bench, he's been getting relatively few minutes, 20 minutes or less the last few games. In my mind, I don't know that there's a more important player for the Blazers today, side or total. If Whiteside is that low post defender and he's blocking shots and he's altering shots, it's going to be much more difficult for the Grizzlies to win this game. And this game has a chance to stay under the total, despite the fact that Portland's playing nothing but overs. We saw 275 points when these two teams met to open the bubble and all of that. But if the Grizzlies are able to create some matchup problems and get Whiteside out of the paint and get him from clogging up, or get Collins and Nurkic out of the paint, I think it bodes very well for their chances, and it makes it much more likely that it's going to be a high-scoring game. So total-wise, for in-game betting, I have no wager on the total prior to tip-off. I'm going to see if the Grizzlies are able to draw the Portland bigs out of the paint. If they are, bodes well for Memphis, bodes well for overs.
Got you. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the under, man. I always because we know the defense. It's tough because with the Blazers under right now, but the way I look at it, the Grizzlies kind of have to try to. You got to see what the Nets did. You got to double team Dame, get the ball out of his hands. You see, they look like a totally different team. Then they just go to try and shoot threes. If the shots are not falling, the Blazers could possibly should even get blown out in this game, man, if the shots ain't falling. I'm being dead serious with you guys. The Grizzlies play more defense than the Blazers, so the Grizzlies have to lock up. And obviously, I'm leaning towards Grizzlies. I like the Grizzlies, so I'm thinking it's gonna go Grizzlies and under. But if the Blazers do end up covering the spread, I could see it going over. It's just, y'all know me, I'm not a big total guy. The dog could make the Blazers push even more, and they could make it go over. So that's why I'm staying off the total. But I would, if I had to play it, a free bet, little free play or found some money. Let me go put this. I'm taking the under for sure. But I like the Grizzlies much more in this one. What you think about the total, Junior? 6.5.
What's it? What you see?
Bovada. I got Bovada. I'm looking at the SBR, and I got Bovada too. So that's where I got the 6.5.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Only one. Yeah, but 6.5. That's cool.
Just real quick, Junior. There's a couple of 6.5s popping. The broader Marno. Now the market's moving to 6.5 as we speak.
Hey,
literally popping right now. If you want to lay 6, do it quickly, because the market's moving at like boom 6.5. Oh, boom, boom, boom! I'm watching the screen go black.
I wanted to go to 7.
What do I think about this total? I think that I'm afraid of totals in playoff games for the simple fact that I feel like things just can get tight. The Grizzlies could struggle to score in this game. I'm not too sure I would bank on Portland struggling to score just the way that Dame has looked, and also they've had a lot of consistency from a couple of other guys. CJ's averaging 20 in the bubble. Melo's averaging 16. Gary Trent's averaging 16. They got quite a few guys that are giving them contributions. So I just think Portland's always going to put up a lot of points. I'm just not sure about Memphis, how they're going to look. Like something Teddy said, the lights are pretty bright in the playoffs, and you don't really know how these guys are going to react. The only guy in their lineup that has any playoff experience is Jonas Valanciunas. So
Tolliver.
Tolliver, I guess.
And he got to start too. And really, they be starting Tolliver coming in for Jaren Jackson Jr. So I mean, they give him a little toughness, little 3-and-D guy.
They need him to get hot.
Hey, I'm like, damn, I'm surprised he's still in the league, bro. When he come in, but I don't think
he can shoot threes though.
He's
3-and-D, man.
3-and-D for sure.
Yeah,
3-and-D for sure. We finna get this shit today, man. I'm hyped on this shit. I'm sorry. I can't hold it, man. I'm hyped. This shit like Christmas morning. I can lose, man. Ain't nothing guaranteed. But I like the Grizzlies today, man. Y'all remember last Saturday, we was all 3 on alignment or something. You know what today is? Today's Saturday. We all 3 like it. And guess what? I'm gonna go to the same spot, and I hope we get we did get a little lucky with that game, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter. They got the cash the next day. You dig what I'm saying? That's the only thing that matters. And I hope tomorrow we going in there smiling, going there with a smile on the face as well, man. Again, man. But that's all I got to say. That's all we got on that game, really. I mean, it sounds like we all pretty much on alignment. Got Grizzlies +6 in my pocket, and I like 6.5 too. I would be Blazers in too, man. That's just my opinion. I don't have anything on the money line, but I'm taking the points just to be safe. But I think the Grizzlies, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see them boys win this game. Blazers to smack their butts tomorrow, though. It'd get ugly. Be nice little old Grizzlies today, Blazers tomorrow, man. But my guy, we're gonna go ahead and get into some few more games here. Teddy, what you want to do? You want to look at some Monday games, or you want to look at the series price, brother?
I figure everyone wants to talk series prices right now. But I'll go with whatever you want to do. Series prices, Monday games, I'm happy to go either way.
Got you. Yeah, let's go ahead. If you want, let's get if you got the series prices, Teddy.
I got them all right here in front of me.
What you got, my guy? What you're liking? Anything in pockets, Ed?
I haven't bet a thing yet, but we still got about 48 hours before we're gonna. So let's start with Bucks Magic. I'm seeing Milwaukee -10,000, -15,000, anywhere from. And this is one of those deals where, like, if you want to take the Magic to win the series, which nobody does or should, but if you do, you can find 13 to 1, you can find 20 to 1, you can find 25 to 1, and you can find 30 to 1, just at different books. So you can settle for 13 to 1. You can shop for 30 to 1. It's up to you. But as a series price, that's not what I'm going to get involved with. I'm not going to be a bridge jumper on Milwaukee, and I don't think Orlando could beat them.
Right. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how. I think in that first game, Orlando getting like 10 points, ain't they? Teddy, that's going to be interesting. We know that it'll be interesting to see if the Bucks can turn it on like that. Let me put it like that, because we know these teams are good. It's just seem they struggle in the bubble. It could be motivation, could be the coaches saying, "Oh no, I was just riding the car thinking about this." So they were coaches saying, "Hey, look, y'all just go out there and just play. Like, we ain't gonna really call no plays. We're gonna run 1, 2, 3 plays. Just make a little plays. We ain't gonna run our real plays. We're just gonna run like 2, 3 plays the whole game. We lose, hey, then nobody get injured, and whatever happens, happens. But when it gets to playoff time, we going balls to wall. I guarantee you, at least one of these teams that's happened with. What you think about that, Junior?
I mean, for that specific game, Jay, Milwaukee first half is probably my favorite play. Well, not probably. It's the most profitable play that I've made all season by far. I think that's a possibility in that game. But, I mean, the first half spread is going to be pretty big. And Orlando does play pretty good defense. And like you said, Milwaukee hasn't really looked like the team that we saw before the season got suspended. So, I'm not really sure you can just turn it on and off just like that. At the same time, the Magic got a lot of injury issues. I know that Gordon's going to be back, and Fournier recovered from his illness, and who else? Terrence Ross is supposed to be back, but you can't just be missing basketball games like that and just walk back into the playoffs and think it's all going to be good. So I think that's a major problem for Orlando. Obviously, the Bucks will smell that blood in the water, and they're not really going to try to mess around. The Bucks want to sweep. Let's just be honest, so they can move on to the next round and take care of business at that time. So I think this game one could get really, really ugly. So, is it going to happen in the first half? I guess I got to see what the line is. I think anything.
It looked like it opened at 9.5, and it's not first half, but the full game spread looked like it opened at 9.5.
But now it's like 10, right?
No, it's up to 11.5.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, there was only one 9.5 out there. The broader markets had been open 10.5, 11, and we're seeing 11.
Yeah, I know. I seen like 10, 10.5 for sure, 10, 10.5. But hey,
that's rough. It's a lot of points, man. We'll see. We'll see.
Got you. So what, Teddy? Anything else that you want to look at as far as the series price for this series? What you think about some of them Western Conference series prices?
I was just going to run through them. You want me to run through them real quick?
Yeah.
Do them one at a time.
No, go ahead. You can just run through them.
Okay, so I got the Sixers and the Celtics. Celtics anywhere from -360 to -400. Take back on the Sixers +300, +320 in that range. So Boston basically a 4-1 favorite. Nets Raptors, I'm seeing Toronto anywhere from -2,500 to -4,000, -5,000. Take back on the Nets. Again, if you just shop around, you can get +1,100, +1,200, +1,400, +1,500. A little bit of shopping around, and that's one of the beauties of SBR, is it gives you the chance to see a whole bunch of different sports books and offers in one place. you can easily shop around and get the best of the number. We have the Jazz and the Nuggets, relatively short. Denver -$2, plus 175 to take back on Utah. Mavs and the Clippers, relatively short. -600 for the Clips, plus 450 range for Dallas. Heat and the Pacers, -300 for the Heat. This is a 4-5 series, plus 250 for Indiana. Thunder and the Rockets, the early money has come for OKC. Houston, -150, OKC plus 130. That's the most competitively priced series of the bunch, and obviously no line yet because the Lakers don't have an opponent yet. So we'll get one, but we don't have one yet.
I don't know, man. I just don't get into them series price. I mean, the one that was real interesting to me, the 76ers. I mean, I'm not a big fan of their coach, especially like when it gets to the playoffs. We know that Brad Stevens will run circles around Browne, but we know that the 76ers have a huge size advantage. So I just want to know what you guys think about that one with all that plus money. Because in my opinion, I'm not laying with a regular game. I'm not laying -$2 even. So I mean, we get up to -300, -4. Where I mean, I don't know. Only way it's value, in my opinion, is taking the dogs. But I would only take. I like taking game to game, in my opinion, as far as the series with the games. I feel like if you like one team, hey, take the points. If you think they're gonna win, take them game by game. But I just never really did the series price. It's just something that I don't do. I don't like having my money tied up. Season long bets, never made not one of them. I'd rather just bet game by game. But what you think about that Philly and Celtics price, Junior? You think it's some value there with Philly possibly with all that plus money?
No, I don't. I really don't. That being said, I would never lay -360 though, so that's not going to happen either. The only thing that Teddy said in terms of those prices that kind of caught my ear was Indiana at plus 250. I still would lean Miami, but that's an interesting price because to me that's that's the closest thing to a 50-50 series we have in the first round. What do you guys think?
I think Oklahoma City. I mean, the one dog.
OKC.
OKC.
Yeah, OKC seems like more 135 plus 135, right?
Yeah. So I mean, -150 plus 130 in that range. 155, 150. But Houston's not healthy coming in. OKC, all they've done all year is overachieve. And the markets. I think this might be the first time that I'm seeing the markets give the Thunder as much credit perhaps as they deserve. And it tells me that the markets are finally seeing OKC the way that maybe they should see OKC. But they play defense too. I think the Thunder will win. That's the one dog that I might make a bet on to win the series. Otherwise, I'm just looking at the favorites. And most of these price ranges, you're not getting involved. But in the average year, first round upsets, what do we see? One or none?
Mm-hmm. So what? People really gonna lay them prices and where? I mean, what, you just think it's easy money? They'll go and lay like -400 on the series price, or just thinking that it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much guaranteed money, damn near. That's what do you think?
So we the guys that lay big prices on the money line, we call them bridge jumpers in Vegas because it works until the one time it doesn't.
Right.
And you get bombed. But I'm sure there are wise guys out there that are laying 10,000 to win 100 with the Bucks to win the series, because the Bucks are going to win the series. So if you have that type of, coin that you're going to lay it out, you get a modest ROI. It's a relatively safe wager, and God forbid if the series is tied 3-3 or Orlando takes over, maybe you can find some way to hedge towards the end and not drop an enormous amount of money. But there are a group of bettors out there that will lay these big prices on the money line, and you small return, it adds up. But the one loss can unfortunately wipe you out if you.
For real. I'm thinking one loss may be more than all of them returns that you had. And it's like one upset. Today's NBA, do you know home? If I'm gonna do that, I definitely need the home court advantage. That's for damn sure. Now I'm doing it before time, not this year when anything happened. I'm looking at maybe possibly some little throwing a few long shots out there, if anything. But That's you know what I'm saying. That's also what they want you to do to get the. They want you to see that plus money. Be like, oh, you just giving money away to them. I know people. Hey, I'm gonna go do a 10-team parlay. Man, you might as well give me that $10-$20. Man, come on, bro. But I don't know. That's what I got. That's all I got to say about them. Oh, Teddy, what you think about what Junior said with the Indiana and Heat? What's called? I feel like with that one, you may wait till last minute because Heat money's gonna be pouring in on the Heat because people see the way that they dominated them during the regular season.
I don't think Indiana wins that series, so I'm not going to bet the Pacers. You know,
I don't either. By the way,
yeah, and I mean, so in theory, the concept is that they play 4 times and Indiana wins more than once. You know, if you have Indiana winning 1.5 times, that they play 4 times, that there's a value on the Pacers. But I'm telling you, the concept of value when it comes to, all right, well, here's this underdog on the money line, and you go with a good value bet. It could be the best value in the world. They don't win, doesn't do you any good. And I'm not looking for extra value unless I expect the team to actually win. I don't think Indiana can beat Miami 4 times. I don't.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
By the way? A couple of reasons why I agree with everything Teddy just said, even though I like the price on a series that's probably going to go like 6 games, I think. First of all, big men have been going off against the Pacers. I don't know what's up with Miles Turner because he's a great defensive player, but
soft.
Number one, I guess, yeah, you could say that because I wasn't impressed with him this summer for Team USA. But the other thing is he gets in a lot of foul trouble. And then when he goes to the bench, their backup big man right now without Sabonis, it's a real defensive nightmare. That's the first problem. The second problem, I don't like that TJ Warren has plantar fasciitis problem. Or however, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, close enough.
Thank you. My point is, he said it's not a big deal. When have you ever heard someone with that problem and it not be a big deal? There's no way that I'm feeling confident with him going into that, having to go up against Jimmy Butler,
exactly.
who basically called him a what? What did he call him, J Money?
I don't know if I want to say it on here with all the stuff that he didn't call him. No, but look, but what you're saying is the foot problem, along with Jimmy Butler basically owning him. It's not good. And I just have to say one thing real quick before we talk about the Jazz and Nuggets. Value can be overblown. What's value? Like we're talking about it. Yeah, it's value with the Pacers, but if they don't fucking win, where's you didn't win. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it goes to where the guys will lay the what's called because they feel like if they're winning, they still profiting that $100. So I can see both sides, but really value is overblown. A lot of people talk about value in baseball. What's value if the team's gonna lose? They could be getting plus 300. If they're gonna lose, yeah, you got value, but you still lost. I don't know. That's just crazy to me. What you trying to say, Teddy?
I was going to say that you can find value only matters when you win.
Exactly. Period.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. This plus 180 dog in baseball, I'm getting plus $3 on them. Great, but they're going to lose.
Baseball, though, I can't say. And then, if they're real quick, Teddy, baseball, and not to talk about too much, baseball is the one where anything can happen. So I guess you can kind of see where people's like, all right, I'm going to take a shot with it, but you can't just, it's probably likely like a fourth of a unit or something. They're not going a full unit on it saying like, I really think I'm going to win. They're really just taking a shot because the return on investment would be really nice, but they're really kind of just hoping to get lucky, taking a sorry ass in. But in baseball, it is one that anything can happen, but not to talk about baseball too much because I hate it. And this is a basketball show. But Teddy, I want to pick your brain, you and Junior, real quick. This is the last one we'll talk about before we get out of here. We got real quick, the Nuggets versus Jazz game, man. Me and Teddy got conflicting thoughts on this. I really think the Jazz gonna push them to their limit and possibly even. I think this one could go 7 games. I'm not saying Jazz gonna upset them, but what you think about that, Junior? Real quick for Teddy chime in. What you think about the Jazz versus Nuggets series and who you think will win?
Hey Teddy, what was the price? Because I didn't hear it.
The price, it's one of the tighter ones. I got Nuggets minus $2, minus 210. Take back on the Jazz plus 175, plus 180.
I mean, I think the Nuggets are going to win the series. I wouldn't lay $2 on that, but I think the Nuggets win it in 6. I just think that if Michael Porter Jr. could keep doing what he's doing, that kind of cancels out what Donovan Mitchell's doing to a certain extent. And then who else did the Jazz got? Whereas, Jokic has been looking like skinny Jokic is balling right now. I mean, fat Jokic is balling, and skinny Jokic is, he's
Gobert
doing
looks a little better as well, though. Gobert looks a little quicker as well, though. I must give it to him. They still missing Boban. They still missing what's it called? Bogdan.
And they got Jamal Murray back in the last couple of games. The Nuggets are a pretty deep team. I don't consider the Jazz to be a deep team anymore. I think a lot of their guys are still really struggling. We'll see though. I think it'll go 6. I think my call is Nuggets in 6.
I don't know where the Nuggets head be at sometimes, bro. That's the only thing that scares me, Teddy. And I know that they're on paper a much better team. We've seen in their head, man. But I know Teddy gonna say that they've owned the Jazz and that their head, the mental problem. That's where their edge is. That's what Teddy goes. So what you think about this one? But you don't think the Nuggets is that sometimes they just seem like they can fold. Harris, Bart, them guys have been playing. What if they come out super rusty here, Teddy?
I hope they don't play. Denver's better if the Nuggets that we just saw for the last 8 games is a Nuggets team that is capable of beating the Lakers or beating the Clippers in a 7-game series. I think they're the only team in the West that's capable of beating one of those 2 teams. Denver's A game is that good, and Denver's depth is extraordinary. They're deeper than the Lakers. They're not deeper than the Clippers. No one's deeper than the Clippers, but they have depth to match the Clippers. Utah can't match that depth. And, I mean, we saw, and these guys played one of the more compelling games of the bubble just this last week. And what did it take? It took Donovan Mitchell raining threes at the end, and Conley raining threes at the end, and Clarkson raining threes, and Ingles making plays. It took everyone from Utah to do everything right for them to lose in overtime to Denver. Utah, they might be a crack team. You know how it goes, 1-2-3 Cancun. Jazz go down 0-2. They really going to fight? There's no home court they can fight for. They don't get to go home after 2 games. And does this team really want to be together now after all they've been through this year? I'm telling you, if Utah gets punched, I don't think they punch back.
I think it'll go 6, man. That's just me. I think the Nuggets are damn near let them come back. And it's to say Harris and Barton come back. They already played in one of the seeding games. They were just taking it light with them. The guys aren't just necessarily super hurt. They played in one. Both guys played in one of those seeding games. So they're going to come back to play. They're going to, and they could mess everything up. It's the only thing I'm saying, because right now they look good. But when Harris and Barton come in there, it kind of threw off the rotation a little bit. What you think about this one, Junior?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Thought on this one?
Know. I'm just really conflicted. I mean, I don't understand what you mean by it threw off the rotation.
No, I'm just saying it could possibly. You know how if a team's been playing, they played 7 of these seeding games without Barton and Harris. They're getting pretty much, got into a flow. Barton and Harris played in one of the games. I don't have it up in front of me how they looked in their game, but I do know that they came and played in one of the games and then pretty much sat out, I think, like the last 3 or whatever. So I think if they come in there, you know how sometimes, a couple of guys will come back in the rotation and it'll miss and it'll kind of, throw things off a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I guess what I would say to that is just going back to what I said before, and I think even Teddy kind of echoed the same thing. I just think the Nuggets are so deep. They don't even really need those guys to play a lot of minutes to beat this Jazz team. I think that they're going to ease those guys in. I think the first couple of games, their minutes will probably just be under 20, and by the time the series is done, they'll be closer to their regular minutes. But I could see those two not getting any starts in this series at all, which just shows you how deep this team is, really. I didn't compare them to the Clippers, but Teddy has a pretty good point. Other than the Clippers, who's really as deep as this team? I mean, it's basically them, the Clippers, and the Raptors as far as depth, 1 through 10. So I just think that that's going to be the Jazz's downfall, because I think the Jazz are maybe 6 deep. I'll give your boy Jordan Clarkson some love. They got about 6 guys that you could rely on, and other than that, you're not really sure what's going to happen with these guys. And
gotcha. I'm not saying the Jazz is gonna beat them. I just really think that they'll maybe push it to 6. I know my guy Tay was saying it could possibly be sweep or 5, and I'm just arguing the fact that it could go possibly 6 or 7. I like the Jazz defense a little bit better than I like the Nuggets. Sometimes, even though the Nuggets seem like to own them, the Nuggets just always don't seem to be all the way locked into me. Offensively, but defensively, they got to lock down. The Jazz have shown time and time again they at least have the pick. So when it comes to playoffs, I look at the better defensive teams. The Jazz defense is slightly better than the Nuggets, even though they're not as deep.
Jay, just to piggyback on something you just said, just to give to, I don't want to disagree with everything you're saying. The Nuggets have been one of the worst defensive teams in the bubble. And that's just factual. They've not been good defensively in the bubble.
They better get it right, bro.
Yeah, so you do have a point in that sense that the Jazz are the better defensive team going into this series for sure.
I gotta strongly disagree with that, because Utah hasn't played any defense in the bubble either. I mean, legitimately, it hasn't happened. And you look at the defensive numbers for the Jazz. I understand that Utah's A game defensively is probably better than Denver's A game, but we haven't seen the Jazz A game. What we're looking at for the Jazz defensive stats is stats from January. Not stats from in the bubble. They were not a good defensive team the last 3 weeks.
Got you. I still like that. Quinn Snyder still gonna make sure his teams play some defense. My argument, we all know as far as watching NBA this full season, we know the Jazz defense is better than the Nuggets. Even though the Nuggets much deeper team, can't argue with that. We are about to go ahead and get out of here. But like I say, I take things on a game by game basis. I don't make series price anything in it. It could be I might be on the Nuggets the first couple games and then be on the Jazz on that third game. So it's just all game to game basis for me. I watch the games in play. The Jazz could look like they're totally overmatched, but I think they'll be pretty locked in defensively. I just think they'll give the Nuggets a little run for their money. It won't be easy. We've seen the Nuggets get to the fucking playoffs and look like a totally different team time and time again, even with the home court advantage. So it'll be really interesting to see both of these teams. Neither one of them have the home court advantage, and they've really leaned on that in times past. So I really feel like it really is a toss-up because neither one of them have the altitude, all that the crowd energy to back them up. So I really feel like in these playoffs, man, anything can happen. That's why we were talking about with some of these early season, the early rounds. Anything can happen. You don't have that home court advantage. Some of these teams don't necessarily look like the bubble is, working out for them. So be interesting to see, man. It's enough. All the meaningful games are over. We got the real games now, man. Let's see if the Grizzlies can try and take this one home. Try to at least keep it close, man. I know I'm on it. I love the Grizzlies here. Say nothing's guaranteed, but I think they'll fight to the last second. If not win this game, why wouldn't they say the NBA would like to see another game tomorrow? I would too, man. What you got, Junior? Let them know what you got in your pocket, my guy.
Yeah, +6 Grizzlies. I'm riding with you on that one. I want to know what you guys think the spread's going to look like tomorrow.
I like how you said it.
if Memphis wins straight up, I think tomorrow's number is going to be very close to today's number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be the same. And I'm taking the Blazers. Simple. And I hope it works out that way. I really do think that it really could. Watching NBA for a while, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Grizzlies get maybe a few more calls. The Blazers are somewhat gassed, in my opinion, man. You look at the minutes, Damian Lillard, mainly him, because he's been carrying the offense on his back by far. Even though they got all the contributors, Dame has been the one that's having to take over. He's been having 40 minutes in the past 4 games. CJ as well, 39, 38 minutes. Boy's been having to go balls to the wall, man. You look at the Grizzlies play some kind of sort of tough competition here, even though they only 2-6 in both. Boys and play somewhat. They had the toughest schedule, man. Put it that way. So we'll see. We do know one thing: they will fight to the end. And I'll ride with it, man. I can sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a chance with it. I got the Grizzlies +6.5 now in my pocket. We trying to break the bookies, man. They're not gonna break us, but y'all know it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's guaranteed. Bet responsibly. Don't bet. You know what I'm saying? More than you can lose, man. 1 unit. Bet what you been betting. You know what I'm saying? Don't go all in. Bet your house. Something be mad at us. We like the Grizzlies, but not too large, man. Standard bet. We finna get out of here. We appreciate y'all for jamming with J Money. Y'all hit the like button if y'all like the content, man. And hopefully we, got a game tomorrow, man. Blazers in 2. We're gonna holler at y'all on Monday, man. Appreciate y'all for jamming with J Money. Teddy, Teddy. Let them know what you got in your pocket. Let them know what you say your closing remarks, Teddy.
Oh, I got the Grizz. I'm with you.
Trifecta. Yeah, they know. I know. I let Junior say what he had to say, and then I ain't let Teddy. So I ain't let you say it yet. So I ain't want to leave you out, my guy. In pocket.
I don't care,
man.
I just want him to cover.
Grizzlies +6 in pocket, and we're gonna have a game tomorrow, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all on Monday. Yes, sir.